Hey all, how you guys doing? So today we will learn jQuery ID selectors with some examples. So there are actually various type of ID selectors we have, and we will see all of those one by one. But first of all, like why do we need ID selectors, right? So if you remember, right? So I'm actually assuming that you guys all know JavaScript very well. So that's the reason I did not created a playlist or videos for JavaScript. So I just directly started creating videos on jQuery. So if you guys remember, we do select elements in JavaScript to take a hold of it and then use it using its attributes like value or change its HTML, right? Disabled it, enabled it. So in JavaScript we can do that, and since jQuery is a subset of it and it's built on top of it, then it's obvious that jQuery is also provides us selectors, different kind of selectors. So there are actually multiple types. Like first of all, it is an ID selector, then element selectors, then class selector, attribute selector, and then attribute value selector is also there. And there are lots of other selectors also, right? So we will learn one by one. So in this video, we will learn ID selectors. So how to use, how to use it, and how to use the attribute value of like ID attribute value of a particular element to select using jQuery. So let's dive into Visual Studio Code and let's try to understand it. So before that, if you're new to the video, try to watch it until the end, and then if you like the video, just try to hit the like button and then share it. If you do not understand anything, then you can comment it out. I can help you over there in comment section. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. So let's assume that we have one button over here. Why to assume, right? So we already have a button over here. So this is the button with ID, button one, right? And we need to take the instance of it. So let's create a variable. jQuery ID selector starts with hash, and it starts with hash. So by giving hash, we are telling jQuery that find this element with ID, right? For me. So jQuery will understand based on this hash. So if we are providing some string with hash appending it right before the string, then jQuery understand it that it is an ID selector, and it will gives us the element based on its ID attribute value, right? So if I inspect it, you can see there is a button, right? So this is the button. So now this is the one way, right? So there are other ways also. So where btn is equal to, now what I can do, right? So this is the one way. So this in this way we are directly taking the idea of the target element, and we are pasting it over here using hash. But sometimes what happens, we need to select a particular tag, right? So particular element with the tag name with ID also, right? So there is an tag name and ID combination is available. So what we can do, button hash button underscore one. So here what we are doing, right? So I'll comment it out. So here we are telling jQuery that I want a button element with this ID, right? So I want a button element with this button one ID, and it will give me a button. So if you look at the console window, it will give us the button, right? Button with this button ID. Then there is another way, equal to dollar So there might be needs, we need to find an element based on its descendants, right? So what we can do, right? So we can give the descendants syntax over here. Based on the descendants ID, it will find us the element. So now the button one is descendant of this parent div, output container child, and then the output container child is also descendant of this output container. Okay. So what we can do, we can just change it out, right? Output container, let's copy this and paste it over here, output container, and then, right? Then it's child, the immediate child, right? And then the button one, okay? And if I console log it now, it will find me out that button also. You see, this is the button, right? So same way, the same thing we're doing, but in different ways, right? So these ways are actually, based on our necessity, right? So how we can use them. So this is strictly based on, our necessity and the project requirements. We can use this method also, we can use this method, and we can use this method also. And there is another one method where we need to select multiple, you know, uh, multiple elements also, right? So how we can do that, right? So let me comment it out and paste this console over here. And let's, create one more button over here. And I'll give the ID of 2. Now what I can do, I can find this element and I'll give comma and I'll just try to find, button 2 as well. So now by giving comma, what we are doing, we are passing the string, okay? We are passing the string, and if string contains comma, so what jQuery does, jQuery splits it into, an array, and it loops each and every ID, and it will gives us, those many elements back. So if I refresh it, you can see there are two buttons, right? So what it does, jQuery, we're telling jQuery, right? So by giving comma, so this is convert this string into an array and just find me out whatever elements are there based on this, ID. So if I create another button and I don't give it an ID, for example, so we will see the CSS selector in next video, but by giving comma and dot, I'm telling, jQuery that, find me the element with the class name also, right? So what jQuery does, it does finds that element based on the class name also in the same, in the same query, right? So what we are doing, we are finding two elements based on ID and a single element based on class name, right? So multiple, combinations we can use in a single statement, and it's not possible using JavaScript and normal JavaScript. Okay, so finding element based on class, we need to write down, couple of lines of code again, right? But here in one line, we are able to find based on class names, based on tag names, right? Uh, Here you see it's based on tag name, right? Based on tag name, but it's ID, right? So what we are doing the same over here. So button ID, then we can use this combination also over here by giving comma, right? So it will find me two buttons only. Okay, you see one button, right? So this is how it works actually. Okay, so this is all about jQuery ID selectors, guys. So if you have any issues with it, to understand the concept, right, so you can comment it out, I'll try to answer it. And if you like the video, just hit like button, right, and subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon also, so that you will get new notifications every time when I upload the videos. Thank you guys. Bye all.